Here's the coming from a military broadcast or an EMI. It was coming from this wall. What's important is what are the chances that this wall just so happens to be the very thing for all of this stuff? So yes, I can was creating the lab created the wall.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. This is Alex Jones, and I want to thank Mr. War Machine for inviting me here today. He gave me a call, and I mean, anytime I hear war and machine, that definitely appeals to my right wing roots. And he invited me to come and sit down and talk about some Castlevania, how we deal with politics out in Wallachia. Yeah, you see, over in Transylvania, they didn't have no vaccines and they didn't have no outbreaks. The average lifespan of a Wallachian usually averaged about 26 years, and the leading cause of death was usually immigration, and it was them breaking the law. So we didn't have to worry about doing none of them vaccinations. There was no gun violence either. Yeah, let's talk about some Castle fucking Vania. Yeah, no, this one did really come out of the blue. I remember you just kind of like you were just messing around one day, and then suddenly it's like, dude, check this out. Hmm. I think he went and destroyed his microphone, or either that, or he's probably muted it. War Machine has muted. You have muted yourself. Yeah, and I'm here walking them through the process. You don't want to do that, dude. Add source. So go to the left where sources are. Click the plus button. To the right. To the right. To the right. And audio output. Yep, there you go. And set your microphone. Beautiful. We're getting it fixed.
All right, how about now, guys? Whoa, clipping.
Yeah, a little bit of clip.
You guys getting me yet?
All right. We should have it fixed now. So yeah. Anyways, I'll quick try to bring everybody back up to speed where we were. Um, yeah, no, this announcement it came completely out of the blue. One day, like I've been kicking WarMachine in the butt, telling him, dude, you need to stop doing cover acts. You're a rock star. You need to be writing your own tracks, sort of thing.
Right.
So, I'm like, dude, make your own original game. And he's like, yeah, dude, fuck it, fine, I'll go ahead and do it. And bouncing ideas off, and then just what was it? Not even 48 hours ago, you're just like, oh my god, I figured something out.
Right.
Yeah. And then it just went from there.
That was it. I mean, like I said, nothing really. And again, sorry guys for the fuck up on my part. This is why I don't ever stream.
Well,
I'm always
this is why we're getting you rolling.
right. And again, shout out to Scary Jersey guy for helping me get this shit situated. Um, yeah, it didn't. It wasn't on the agenda at all. Like he said, I was working on. It was pretty close threshold. Close. He's had to hear me enough to where he should know how to sound like. But it was one of those things. It hit me, and I was like, all right, just put a little bit more time into it. Try it. I spent, like I told you guys on the Discord, I spent like about a week every single day, which thankfully I had time off for the holidays, so I was able to really hammer down on it. And when I say that, I was putting like 12 plus hours a day into getting this shit right. But I was able to pull it off. I was like, you know what? All right, I was able to do this. If I'm going to work on my original, I have to do this first. I've always wanted to do this one. I've wanted to do this one ever since I learned how to start using the program, and I was just never able to get it. And something like that, if you can't get it at least as good as the original, then don't even try it. Because it's like you can't mess up. You shouldn't mess up any of them, right? But 4 and 2 are the two that you just cannot screw up.
Hmm.
So, and here we are.
Well, that's the funny thing because in most people's like perceptions of Castlevania, as much as we love two, they're like, "Oh, you can always improve on that one. That was the black sheep of the family."
Yeah,
But Super Castlevania 4, that's like trying to remake The Godfather.
exactly. Yeah, so it's got to be right.
Has to be.
So, um, I don't have. I mean, I've got. I can show you guys a little bit of something if you want, but honestly, it's so early. The only thing you're going to see would just be that the mechanics are working. So
Which was a
originally,
big thing.
it's huge. So if you guys do want to see, I can try to hook that up real quick and show you. As long as I don't break this. Um,
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. I gotta go to the bathroom.
but there wasn't there wasn't enough time for me to make like a little mock up that would do it any kind of justice to throw it in with that video, that intro video. But all the mechanics are there. The flail, the swing, all that shit. Now, as per usual, there's going to be some big twists in it. I don't have all that worked out yet, but as you guys know, every one of them that I do, there's always some kind of big twist somewhere. Something that it just doesn't screw the story up, but it just adds to it. So I've got a couple of good ideas that I'm gonna throw in there for that, of course. Show me the mechanics. Yeah, I'll throw them up in just a few minutes, Dragon. Let's see, Decalen. A 1999 story would be badass. It would. That's just another one of those kind of like this. Everything has to be right, I think, before you'd even try it. And for me to do something like that, I would have to have, you know, at least 2 or 3 or more if they would want to. uh, sprite artist to be able to hook it up and make it look right. Because I wouldn't want to do that either unless it turned out, exactly the way we think it should. Steve, it did get shelved, but it's not getting put to rest, I guess. I was making good strides with it. It's not that I got tired with it or anything. It was just in general, I kind of thought like you're getting good enough with this stuff, you should do your own thing. And then messing with mine for a little bit, it just hit me to try this. It turned out good, so that's where we're going right now. But I will be going back to that, and I'll be going back to Simon's Quest at some point too for that update that I was working on when I lost all my shit.
And I do want to touch on what Eric was saying as well. Castlevania 4, in my opinion, personally is all right as well. Sometimes it can get a little long in the tooth. I
Mm,
got I have Castlevania games that I love way more, but I mean, we're just talking in general of like the average Castlevania community at large. They're the ones that'll typically say it's either Super Castlevania 4 or Symphony of the Night. Those are the untouchables.
right, but only if they can be done right. Don't even
Yeah.
don't even try if you can't at least make it the same, feel the same. Then don't even try.
Yeah, you got to at least have like that same. I want to say you definitely have to have the same mechanics, but it also has to have that same flow. And I mean, knowing you, at the very least, the Super Castlevania 4 Chronicles, I would hope that it's a lot more streamlined because I mean, what's always been my biggest complaint about Super Castlevania 4 is that it runs great, it flows fine, but it's not until you start getting near the end of the game where it's kind of like,
A chore.
okay, is this going to end?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I'd say from what at least. Well, I think you could have just jumped off from the treasury stage, like after you beat the mat boss. Go there straight into the castle. Not the big
Well,
Wheel
I
of
was
Doom bullshit. Not all that. Just go. You know what I mean?
no, forget the sex collar going up the steps there.
Right.
I would do the collapsing bridge, and then as soon as you go through that door, you're right where you fight Slobda and
Yeah,
Gimto.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, cut out all that bullshit, which will most
Mhm.
likely happen. Either that
I would.
or be replaced with something that'll kick your ass even worse. We'll see. It just depends.
The whip mechanic did make it a little bit easy in a lot of senses, and I mean they balanced it out with having cheap depths and shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those weird things where it's like even people as high up in like the review circuit as like ABGN says, "Oh, this is the best ever because you had 8 whip directionals and all that." Yeah, that's nice, but how come they never did it again?
Exactly. Well, in four, I think it was a good return to form on platforming. I think to me it took more or it went more in that direction because of the multi-directional whipping and the swinging and shit.
Well, the
That
thing
was
that I
cool.
actually, the thing that I was most disappointed in as far as Super Castlevania 4 goes, is that there was some gimmicks that they implemented, but they didn't use them. It's like they used them pretty heavy in the beginning, like going through the gate and being on like a little further in the plane, doing the King of Fighters treatment where you can switch planes.
Yeah.
And then like they completely dropped it. Like after that beautiful waterfall level, it just ceased.
Right. Yeah. It was a bit too good. It's possible, Retro. I mean,
No, I
it's
agree. Honestly, I really agree. Is because it's one of those things where Castlevania, you need to kind of have think of it like the Otacon theory. And when I say the Otacon theory, it's like Metal Gear Solid, which I know you're not extraordinarily familiar with it,
yeah.
but when you go up against Metal Gear Rex and Metal Gear Solid, like you hear about how it's this unbeatable weapon, and then the designer is telling you, "Yeah, just knock out the ray dome," and he's like, "But I thought you made this thing to be impenetrable," and he's like, "It needs to have a character flaw,
Right.
you know." So it's kind of like like Castlevania needs to have a character flaw. Um, it needs to have a bit of weakness, like the stiff jumping, just something to not make it too easy
Right.
because
Yeah.
that to me I think is a staple of Castlevania is the difficulty.
Exactly. Well, I mean, and you look at later ones like when you started to lose that kickback. I mean, it was still there some, but not like it used to be. It didn't matter what you were if it was a jump, if you were on the edge of something, if you was on steps, whatever. If you got hit, you got hit. You were going for a ride, you know. So it kept
And
you on your
Kent
toes.
has a great point as well too, where you did get kind of diagonals or maybe like an up whip, which I could see, or like one or the other, but it had to be kind of scaled down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Kalen, yeah,
Legends could definitely use a remake.
yeah. That the cool thing. Well, I guess kind of one of the best things I would say about that is that it's like a blank slate because it's shit. You know what I mean? You could make it. You could do anything really with that and change it up some and make it like an entirely different game.
Well, there is one thing that I personally would just say. I mean, like, you're the guy creating it, so of course you're going to be a little bit more chill and laid back about it. But there's one thing that I would say as a fan and also as an outside observer. Castlevania 4 does kind of need to be touched upon because there's so many other Simon's Quest games out
Yeah.
there. There's so many other There's a couple other Dracula's Curse things out there.
Right.
The things that have not been touched, Bloodlines,
Yeah.
Castlevania 4, this is touching new ground, I think.
Right.
So maybe this could kind of light a fire under other people's asses, hopefully, and be like, hey, this is possible. Because I always hated the notion that they're too big, they're too ambitious to remake.
Right. Yeah. Me too. I mean, like I said earlier, on my end of it, when I look at any of these that I think about messing with, I look at it like, can I do anything to make it better? And if I can, okay, can I make it do the same thing at the very least? Do the same thing that the original does. And if you can't, then just don't do it, like we said, right? This one,
I would definitely add differing planes.
oh yeah, well that's easy. That's something that can be done with just a matter of seconds, pretty much. But sub, yeah, that was kind of strange. I mean,
Sonya does deserve a little bit more love. That game, I don't think that game ever really got a chance to get off.
which one?
Like Legends. I don't think it ever really had a chance to like get any real notoriety or love.
It didn't. I mean, well, it's kind of it fell into the same trap that the 64 games did. You know, everything came out right after Symphony.
Mm.
You know, so it was hard. That's a hard thing to one up. Well, not even one up, but it's just a hard thing. Period to compete with, even in the same series. You know, people are going to expect it to be top shelf, and they weren't.
Well, I mean, if we're just looking at like say Castlevania Adventure, I mean Castlevania Adventure was good, but it was very slow.
Yeah.
Thankfully, a ROM hack came out that actually fixed that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Belmont's Revenge, which is really, really, really good. Legends, they tried a lot of new things, but it didn't work.
Yeah. And
You know,
story wise, I mean, I can buy into it a little bit for Legends, but yeah, overall, it's like they took all the same things that were bad about Adventure and just copy pasted.
not even so much that. I think it was just they changed so much, and I think that after Belmont's Revenge, it was one of those things where people expected better.
Yeah,
And
or at the
it
very
really
least
wasn't.
same.
It wasn't the right time. Like Legends, I don't feel was the right time to try new things. I felt that Legends should have taken what made Belmont's Revenge good
Yeah,
and expanded upon it.
yeah. I mean, if they would have took it exactly, like if they would have just took that same engine set up for that and just slapped the new sprites in it, it would have been 10 times better. The way
Then
it
there's also
plays,
the whole
looks,
notion
all
that
that.
Alucard is Simon's dad
Right,
or Christopher Belmont's.
Trevor,
Alucard.
whoever. Yeah,
Yeah, whoever they put in the forefront of the timeline this time. I guess it would be Leon, right?
yeah. I guess technically it should be.
No, it couldn't be because Leon was where it all began, right? But you see,
Right,
this is
but
where the
that's
timeline shit got all screwed up.
and that's what's funny about it too, because as long as it was Iga that was changing that, it was all right.
Well, you know
He
what I really
he could
want?
change the rules whenever he wanted to, and nobody
Here's
cared.
what I want to. Here's what I want to put you to task on.
What's that?
Now, there's a big debate, obviously, about what Super Castlevania 4 really is. Is it a sequel? Is it a remake? Because, I mean, like, the way that I look at it personally, I look at Super Castlevania 4 as, like, a trilogy.
I do too. Even
I look at it. I look at it as the third part in a trilogy because you had Castlevania.
yeah,
Simon's Quest is obviously a continuation of one, and then Castlevania 4 should be a continuation of two. And the reason why I feel that way is because at the end of Simon's Quest, you had the tombstone. And what
yeah,
does Castlevania 4 start off with?
with the
The
tombstone,
tombstone.
right?
And they mention about Dracula getting revived early. And why would Dracula get revived early? Because Simon brought him back
Exactly.
again.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
agree.
that's how I always felt. I always felt that it was just like part three in a trilogy.
I did too. I
But
never treated it like it
other
was a remake or retelling or whatever. Yeah,
but other people treat it like it's a remake, kind of like Link to the Past is like the Evil Dead 2 remake of the
right,
original Legend of Zelda.
right.
Now, how exactly are you storyline or even just attitude wise to the source material going to approach Castlevania 4?
Well, to start it with, I'm going to keep it exactly the same story wise. At least that's the plan. But then, when I was talking to just you and myself and I, nobody else could hear me. Um, the plan is, like all the other games, there's going to be some big twists in it to spice it up.
Okay.
So that's as far as I'm going to take it. I haven't put too much into it because honestly, I was just more worried about making the shit work. You know,
Yeah.
normally I get a little bit of a base idea of what I want to try before I even do it. There's
Mhm.
sometimes I'll be halfway through making something, and I'll be like, this would be kick ass if I did this here, this there, whatever, and change it up. But the baseline of it will be the same.
Okay. And Nutcase, I'm pretty sure that is the general consensus is that it could be a retelling of one, kind of like the Evil Dead 2 treatment. So, but it's just like before all that stuff was established, that's how I always viewed it as a kid.
Yeah,
Like when, like 10-year-old me, when we got the Super NES and, we got Link to the Past, and I always looked at it, I don't know, like Link to the Past, I always felt was like a retelling of one. But then you've got Castlevania 4, I always thought it was like a bit of like a pseudo quasi sequel.
right. Let me see. Profit. For your question about the legal side of this shit, honestly, I mean, where it's not Nintendo, I think you can get away with about anything as long as you're not trying to make money off of it, right? So, I mean, these have always been put up free. They always will be put up free because I don't own it. I'd say that's about the only reason why. That and also, I think I was talking with a Scary Jersey guy about this not too long ago. One of my good friends that has used this program for longer than me, he actually made the Castlevania Bloodletting game years ago. The one that was supposed to be
Mhm.
the follow up to Rondo, in between Rondo and Symphony. And he got a C&D from Konami on that years ago. But I think that you could probably chalk up just the timing, I'm assuming, because it didn't really borrow anything. He used an unused sprite that was going to be on Bloodletting. Maybe it was
Mhm.
the title. I'm not sure, but he didn't put it up for sale either. It was never a cash thing for him. So
I might be able to chip into that as well, just from experience profit. When we did Friday the 13th Vengeance, which is a fan film of Friday the 13th, and this was like knee deep in when the judge had ordered no new material with the Cunningham and Victor Miller case. Simply put, fan stuff you can get away with as long as there is no profit being shown. So it's like any money that was raised for Friday the 13th Vengeance, we did it so that we could donate money to Shriners Children's Hospital. So it's like, how could you kind of go against that?
yeah,
And I mean, granted, any like Castlevania game wouldn't really fall like that, where, obviously we're not doing fundraisers or anything, but what it does boil down to is it does boil down to dollars and cents. And where other fan games have gotten C&Ds, I guess case in point would be they were doing a remake of Code Veronica. Capcom was kind of okay with it until the notion of a Patreon in any way, shape, or form started popping up. That's when the hammer really came down.
yeah,
So just as long as there's not money for this. We're not pulling fuck it, I'll say it. We're not doing the Finley treatment.
Right. And guys, while it's still fresh, I know this is kind of off the rails a little bit. Make sure if you haven't already, check this link out in the chat. Go check out our buddy Scary Jersey Guy. Give him a sub. Follow all his shit.
Oh,
He's got some great shit. No, no,
no, you
no,
don't have
no,
to
no,
do all
no.
that.
We did it. I don't care. It's there.
Damn it.
We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again at the end of the video. So, now make sure you come hanging with us there too, because I pop in from time to time and aggravate everybody. So, but he's got some good shit.
Steve's got it. But
Yep,
no, yeah,
yep.
in 2026, War is going to be making regular appearances because we are trying to bring the little podcasty thing back. Just life is finally settling down, I think, on both of our ends, where we can
Yeah.
finally chill
Yeah.
and devote a little bit more time to our respective projects.
Think of this face. Shit. Poor Ed.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I'm just gonna do it. That's the ultimate. Hey guys, you want to come over and play my Castlevania game and
shit.
fuck my sister?
Johnny, I appreciate it, dude. That would be cool, and that's never been anything that I've looked at seriously. But I mean, you never know. I don't. There's not enough interest in their side, and honestly, I mean, it's not hard to find. You can look it up online anywhere. They evidently are like a shit company to work for. You know,
Rest assured,
plain and simple.
I will be busting War's balls about making some original properties this year as well.
Oh yeah. Once this is wrapped up, I plan on going back to it. Like I said, this is just like this is something that
Getting it
I
out of your
had to.
system.
Yeah, I had to do it, and I've always wanted to do it. I'm able to now, so let's just do the shit.
Yeah, this isn't like Mr. Baseball. I don't know. Have you ever seen Mr. Baseball?
It's been a long time, long time.
Mr. Baseball is one of my favorite movies. There was Major League and Mr. Baseball. Mr. Baseball was Tom Selleck,
Yeah,
where he's a New York Yankees like ace, and he goes to Japan, and he like they're worn out, they're all showering. He just jumps right in the tub, and a Japanese player looks at him, and he's told first you wash, then you bathe. It's like jerking off before sex. So yeah, we're definitely going to push towards getting you to do something. You're talented enough, man. You're ready to go.
I appreciate it, dude. Well, I mean, with the original thing, I've told everybody this. You guys have seen it to death on the Discord. I don't do pixel art worth a shit, but I can do 3D art very, very well considering. So, part of the original thing was, all right, if I'm going to try this, how can I make 3D look good in this setup? So I found a way to make that work. That's what got that actually going, because I've over the years I've fucked around with so much stuff, thinking this is going to be cool, this will be awesome, whatever it would be. Start getting into it and it just be trash. Not what I'm doing, but just the stuff that I want to do to make it work, not working out. So it's just like, okay, you've just wasted like 2 weeks, a month, whatever, right? So, but no, I just like Scary Jersey Guy said, it was just at that time I was like, all right, just stop. Like he said, stop doing the cover band thing, do your own shit. But like with this, I don't, it just came out of the blue, and maybe it was timing.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't even call it a waste though, because you know something. Even like, let's say you never pick up the Harmony and Dissonance thing again, which I'm going to be square with you. I wouldn't focus on this and then do something for you.
Yeah,
The thing is that you are still learning.
right.
So even if you put like 4 weeks into making something and then you scrap it, you're still learning and you're still keeping yourself fresh after those 4 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, everything that you do with it is something that's going to help you later with the learning. So yeah, for sure.
And I agree. The Megami games, man, those were like that was where it was at. Like when the Megami Castlevanias were coming out, that was like I don't know, like in the ROM hacking community. I don't know how many ROM hacking players we have. I can't believe I just used that terminology like that. I sounded like, hey, what's going on, fellow students? I'm sorry. I'm getting over being sick for the past 2 weeks and I'm exhausted. I don't know how many people play ROM hacks in general, but it's like Optimon. You know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And Megami is like Konami, which I wonder if that's like a playoff when you think of it that way.
Yeah, well, something else is like when he first started doing his stuff, it was, again, that was at the perfect time because you didn't have a whole lot, right? So when you seen it,
Hmm.
it was great. But then as he's going on, and this is no dig, but like going back to the Prophets thing, somehow he, which I don't know how much, but I have seen several things in there that has been lifted straight from Rondo and Symphony on the art. So I don't, maybe there's
Wouldn't surprise me.
something there. I
Different
don't know.
country.
Could be. It's hard to tell.
Hey, hey, Argentina wouldn't expedite. That's why most of the people from the 40s went there. Um, Castlevania 3 Gold Edition, that's absolutely a recommendation from me. That's one of my favorite hacks in general for the Castlevania like scene.
And sub, to answer that question about the environments thing,
Rondo of
it
Ruin, yes.
it it wouldn't be fully 3D. It would still be like side scroll, but I'm able to take 3D environments and make them work in a side scroll. So that was that, like the character stuff, animations, making them, all that stuff. That's never been a problem. It's just always been the backgrounds. So there had to be a way to make those match the quality of the characters and shit. So that
You
was
know
not.
what would be interesting?
What's that?
Just thinking about it, because you're talking about going from 2D to 3D. Look at Aliens, the arcade game. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the old one, the one from the '80s, where
Yeah,
you
where
play
you're
as
playing it.
Ripley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you remember those 3D sequences where you're on
like
top of the
in the
APC
truck.
going
Yeah,
forward?
yeah.
I wonder.
What?
See where I'm going with this?
Not really.
2D to 3D, something, maybe a throwback to other Konami arcade games, maybe. Blood Moon was a pain in the ass.
I think something like that. Well, at least for me, I think that stuff's cool when it's a part of the game and it's not all like that. Like, I mean,
Yeah, but I
it
mean, like
was.
we're talking about adding something new, just in general.
Yeah,
And sub, I see you, I appreciate you, and that is something that we'll be making a comeback in 2026. I want to start doing videos reviewing ROM hacks again. Remember when we used to do those once upon a time? We're going to be getting those going again. Last year was good. Holy Relics definitely on top of there. Chorus of Mysteries was interesting. At least it was something new. It wasn't just I changed the color palette to all black. Dodge is
Dodgy.
like what I
What's up,
missed.
dude? I just start the video over and then. Hey, to take you had to drop a deuce. That's cool. Just take the phone with you. Like,
Exactly. What's wrong with you?
what the fuck? Everybody else does that. Weren't you doing it? Don't lie.
Yeah.
Just
No, but
start the
yeah.
video over, watch the intro, and then come back.
You know what? Let's do it one more time, and then we can kind of talk a little bit in depth about it. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, there's not much to show,
Right, we can do that. All right.
but talk a little. But I mean, at least give like a little insight here. I mean, this should have been the first hint.
Right.
I'm glad you got the damn cross on top of that thing, though.
It didn't even, pun intended, didn't cross my mind because I was using that when I made the 3D model. I was using the censored version. I didn't even think about it.
Mm.
But it was the time crunch. I was still, trying to get this shit ready to be able to put it out.
I got to push you a bit. Now, is this an original track, or what exactly is this?
This is the intro track that plays. I just changed it
Well,
up.
it's not the. All right.
Like I
So
said,
this is a
instead of
this is a War Machined up intro.
yeah.
That tombstone does look really good. That's an
Sub,
excellent
yeah.
question. Are we going to get blood or green goop?
Absolutely. Robert, there is. I'll get you. I'll get back to you on that in a sec.
As soon as the music hushes.
The
I think this predates Coppola's Dracula.
yeah.
Yeah, this is like 92, 93. Dracula was like 90, around that time, but I don't think it was that influenced by it.
The
All right,
the
so
mobile
mobile.
thing. I have that set up. Actually, I was working on it with Mask of Retribution, and I had it working. The reason I didn't release the port to start with was because there were certain things that didn't jive with Android, and that's the other thing too. Like you have to buy the extensions, the exporters, to make that work.
Mm.
It's not built in. That's usually like $80 for the exporter. I got it on sale for like $20 on like a Christmas sale. I was like, to hell with it, it's $20. Let's try it. And it was great. It had, you could use the phone controls, like touchscreen controls. You could use a Bluetooth controller. It all worked the same. I didn't have to rehash any of the code. The only thing is, like, yeah, sorry, I'm a little screwed up. Freaking sinuses kick ass.
There's just something floating around the country right now.
But things like scrolling backgrounds, like the clouds, some of the 3D-ish looking ones, like on stage 4, when you would see, like, it looked like Symphony of the Night, how those clouds would go. Stuff like that, it just wouldn't show up. It would just be like a white background. So there's things to make that work. I would have to find a way to work around it, which I could do. It wouldn't be hard, but again, as per usual, there's always a time crunch. And I didn't go back and get the chance to work to actually finish it because that's when my hard drive took a shit on me. So I lost all that code. I mean, of course, I've still got the EXEs and I got the links for the actual game, but I can't extract them. So this I will try to port it to mobile after it gets on PC. I'm not going to do them together because that would just slow shit down way too much for the release. I don't even have an exact date that I'm looking at it to be released. I think it'll go a lot quicker the way I've got it planned as far as when it gets finished. I'm shooting for the end of summer. If anything, maybe the beginning of fall at the latest.
All right, here's an odd suggestion for you. What about, I kind of feel like Roy Batty trying to like sort out the replicant lifespan thing with Tyrell right now. What about making a downgraded mobile port? So it's like on PCs, it would be like 32 bits, but when you get it on mobile, it's 8 bits.
That could be doable, but then I'd have to redo the entire game, everything, to drop
Well,
that.
once again, downgraded, not as big of a scale.
Well,
Like make it like a Game Boy port. How about that?
that's what I'm saying. Like that, to do that, you literally have to change the art of everything. You can't just it doesn't, that program doesn't work like Unreal and Unity and all that stuff, like to change resolution that way. It'd be nice just to be able to say, okay, we're going to go to, I'm just making up a bullshit number, like 320 to 240, and it make it look like an old game. Like you literally have to change all the art, all the sprites, all the backgrounds, everything. So it's like you're making the game twice, literally.
Now, just from a fan perspective, too, I don't know if you ever played these. You ever hear the M. Dickey games?
No.
All right, this dude is just like a solo developer, and he started off just making wrestling games. And then suddenly he started making like prison games, driving games, homeless games, and all this shit using the same sort of engine.
Yeah.
How about like a Castlevania? And he eventually wound up making mobile ports of his wrestling games. So I mean, like, even just like War Mobile, instead of War Machine, War Mobile Gaming.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
that's the
like,
good thing. Like if I go into it with the mentality of okay, I'm gonna release it for mobile. Um, when I make it the first time, I can actually, which I might try it with this because we're at the very beginning stages of it. So now's a good time to do it. Um, look at the things that did break on the mobile, fix it,
mhm.
but set that as okay. This works on the PC the same way. So if I do port it to mobile, literally it's just a few clicks, a few things here and there, tweaks, and it'll be good to go for both.
Mhm.
Because the bad thing is, I've done this with every single game I've messed with. Well, every single game that I've put out, I should say, every single one is finished. I'll get halfway through it or 3/4 of the way through it, and I'll accidentally come up with some kind of way to make something 10 times better, easier, whatever, new, and it'll drive me nuts because I want to go, okay, I got to go back and do all this shit again. It's like, nope, make note of it, make a separate save, something, finish this the way you got it, use that for the next one.
Mhm.
Like an example of that was uh, Simon's Quest going into Castlevania 3. I was almost finished with Simon's Quest, and the way the enemy code went, it worked, but it was convoluted as shit. It was way too much. Had the idea to try something different, tried it out, it worked perfect. I wanted to go back and do it. I shelved it for 3, and that's what sped 3 up so much. And then the
Mhm.
same thing happened in 3. I forget exactly what it was, but around the same point of having 3 finished, had another idea, shelved that for Mirror of Fate, or shit, listen at me, Mirror of Fate, Mask of Retribution, and that was probably the quickest one I ever put out. I think I did that in like what 4 months, maybe.
Mhm.
So I mean, every time it's progressively a little faster. Which, granted, that only had 8 stages, so that had a lot to do with it too. But thing is, like we talked earlier, every time I mess with something, it improves. So
No, you're always learning and you're always picking stuff up. Now, obviously, you don't want to give too much away for what you're going to be doing with this, but in general, from playing Castlevania 4 your entire life,
mm,
there had to have been something that you either didn't like and wish it never existed, which for me it was a sex collar.
yeah,
I
same,
hated that level.
same.
But what is something that I'm sure you have looked at it at some point and said, "Damn, if I was making this game, this is what I would do."
Um, it's hard to answer that without giving it away, but the best way I could think of it would be more Simon's Quest reference,
Okay.
and that's
So
about
you
as
you
much as
you
I
would
could.
make this so you would make this more as a sequel and not just like a
Yeah,
retelling or a
yeah,
remake.
yeah. Because, like you said, I mean, everything, like when I was a kid and played it for the first time, that's the way I looked at it too. I mean, like you said it, like dead on with the freaking tombstone. What's the last thing
Hmm.
you see at the ending? What's the first thing you see at the start of this?
Hmm.
So, but
Yeah, and plus this is just your interpretation of it.
yeah,
So I mean, if I could make a request, because I know everybody. Once again, frankly speaking, everyone's going to have a suggestion. Everyone's going to say this is what you should or what you shouldn't do. I would definitely do the parallel thing where you get the King of Fighters vibe going through gates. I wish that would have been implemented more.
yeah, yeah. Well, and how
I
many
just
how many
hated how
times
that.
did we all die trying to figure that shit out too? Until you realize how you can go back here.
Well, you played once you played Super Mario World, it was like, oh, we can do that
Yeah,
now. So it was kind of there. So I mean, it's just
it's like you said, the
I
things that
hate.
they put the stamp on it was cool, and then it was just gone. It was a one and done. So yeah,
Yeah,
stuff.
it just felt like they were trying new ideas because obviously you want to come out like guns blazing. You
Yeah,
want to, make the best impression that you can. And damn, Super Nintendo really did do a masterful job of that. Super Mario World, Castlevania 4, F-Zero, Link to the Past. And I mean, granted, I know Link to the Past was not necessarily a launch title, but Nintendo really did come out swinging
Yeah,
with the best possible games that you could ask for.
yeah, absolutely.
It just sucked though how once again you going through the gate in the first level, and then you have that waterfall level, and then you never see it
That
again.
was it. Yeah,
A lot of a lot of the swinging Tarzan levels though.
and that's going to be making a comeback too. And I've got some cool ideas as far as some extra stuff there that we'll be having in this too. I don't have it all fleshed out, but I've got a couple of cool ideas. Well, fuck it. I do have not in particular, but I do want to use that in a boss fight of some kind, but something big, something to where
Mhm.
like you have to use those to get up to a certain point to start hurting it, something like that. But that's the whole point, like you said. Take the stuff that was cool, don't just use it once and trash it. You know.
Yeah, I like Dracula's Funhouse Stage 4.
Sub, yeah, I think that was the only place that the gate was on the beginning of the first stage. That was it.
Where you went through gates like that, yeah. And then there was like a couple parts where, like I said, you're walking in the background to go behind a waterfall. Are you able to implement transparency like that?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's simple. Yeah, that's no problem at all. That's easy. Actually, you can see it in basically all the games that I've done when there's water, where I can set it up
Hmm.
to where it can look like real water too. But I've always put some kind of like sprite underneath it to where you can see that too. But for things like this and like that waterfall, I'll probably just use like a tint color to where you can see the color. But when you walk behind it, it'll be distorted like real distortion would be behind water. So shit like that'll be nice.
Well, as far as Castlevania 4 bosses go, I mean, obviously you're going to try to streamline this as only you do.
Yeah.
What bosses are you most excited to implement and work on?
I don't know if I would say so much excited, but the one that I'm thinking about the most is going to be the Vipers.
Okay.
And the reason for that is the way that they're set up, where they're like snakes. So that's going to be another thing I'm going to have to tweak and tweak and tweak until I get it just right.
Well, look
Um,
what you did with the Medusa.
right. Yeah, that's going to be based. Well, I can't use that anymore because I lost all that shit. But same
Mhm.
principle. Yeah, it just had to be a little bit more refined. Um,
Can you at least promise us that you're going to make a better Frankenstein than what we
oh
got?
yeah, yeah,
That
for
is bar
sure.
none one of the
It's
shittiest Frankenstein fights ever.
yeah, it sucks. I might actually, depending on what I'm feeling like at that point, I might do what which I think some of you guys may have seen this. I can't remember who all showed this to, but I might do something like how I was reworking the fight in Simon's Quest. It might have to swap out with that and then just make a new one for Simon's Quest when I go back to it because I had a really cool idea for that. But yeah, it'll definitely be better for sure.
Yeah, Akmadon had some problems.
Yeah, you hit the
Um,
one spot and you're untouchable
well,
for
there's
the most
also a part
part.
where he just goes. If he spawns on the left side of the level, it's done.
Yeah,
It's over.
yeah,
You got him.
yeah.
And I mean, like, it was a cool aspect to fight on the clock tower like that. But I don't know, like, have fucking Mummy Man come up, and then like a pair of giant scissors comes out and cuts his head off, and you're fighting Scissor Man,
Well,
Bobby Barrows.
something I thought about with that fight that would be cool, and I mean well, it's a subtle change as far as how you would do it, but it's a big change as far as how the fight would be. Is when you're on that
Mhm.
clock tower, have the hands move. That way you're fighting against platforming and a boss.
I don't know. I can't imagine him fighting him for an hour so that the shit goes all the way around.
Now, if anybody does that, Sub will hook that up. Sub
I
always
know it's,
finds the most random crazy shit in any of these games more than anybody I've ever seen.
but it's like, no, that was a terrible Frankenstein fight. I did love what they did in the remake of Haunted Castle, where you had to whip the skeleton of Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a cool Frankenstein fight.
Yeah,
I mean, the Grim Reaper fight, that Untouchable. That to me is one of my favorite fights.
And Haunted Castle or this?
In Super Castlevania 4.
Yeah.
When it comes to Grim Reaper fights, Rondo of Blood is my personal favorite Reaper
Yes.
encounter.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the two-part fight aspect, and then Castlevania 4's Grim Reaper fight, there was just a purity behind it, you know.
Hmm.
But it was nice and challenging the way he floated around. You were able to get his pattern down so that if you got his pattern, he's easy as shit,
Right.
but he's still nice and challenging. So it's a good test, but it was also just like a nice pure fight. I like that.
That's what I like with all of these that I make. I try to get that same kind of feel, you know? like if you go in and you just start, attacking blind, you're gonna get your ass kicked. Find the pattern, then kick ass. And to me that's the way they've all been. Really, that's how I feel.
Well, I know that you can't give away too much, and I mean, like, I was a proponent because you wanted to put gameplay footage in this trailer, and I'm
Yeah,
like, no, 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 no. This is all you get. You know.
yeah. Well,
Um,
good.
what about doing the Rondo approach where you can unlock different pathways?
That is actually part of the plan. And it's not like it gives too much away, but like I actually had the idea of something like that that ties in with like the gate stuff on stage one.
Okay.
So like you go out and instead of on the original, you could be on either side of that gate of the fence and walk inside the castle. You do something like that, you walk outside, you're on the outside doing shit in a whole new
Hidden
area.
stairwell.
Well, not even that. I mean, like you're literally outside the castle instead of inside, and it will take you someplace else. Shit like that.
Yeah, but when I said that, like when you go on the other side of the gate, like in stage one, when you like go over the pits and all that,
Yeah.
what if there was like a hidden stairway passage, and then okay, here's path B, kind of like in Rondo when you hit the wall and you're fighting a different boss.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of equating it also to Rondo where you hit all the frogs. You know, those two frog statues,
Yeah.
and then oh, the bridge fell, and we're going down this way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Yes, that's the plan.
Ooh, you know what? That would be a cool idea. The giant swinging chandeliers.
Yep.
What if you whip the base and the shit falls down and you crash through the
Crash through
floor
the
in the
floor
main
and takes you somewhere
ballroom?
else. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Same type of stuff. Yep.
yeah, like that right there would be amazing.
That's the plan. I don't have everything. Like I said, not everything's set in stone. It's still early, but those are the kinds of things that I want to add to this too, for sure. Because, well, I mean, so what? I was messing around with a Rondo remake for a minute. I didn't say anything to like anybody besides Scary Jersey Guy,
Mhm.
pretty much. Um, and that was something that I thought was going to be fun. So immediately coming into this, I thought, yeah, just combine that because it was going to be cool. It's a good way to get creative and make it different. So that's one of the stamps of the shit that I do, changing them up. You know what I'm saying? So that it's not a cop out. I'll say it's a cop out, but that's an easy thing to throw in to make it like totally different.
I think that I think would be good. And I mean that's going to be a hell of a balance though, is because like you and I can agree on a lot of the shit that we felt should be changed, but I don't know, man. What happens if like you got a purist who like we were talking last night about Final Fantasy VII, where it's like no, they shouldn't have changed this.
Fuck them. They can make their own game.
Good attitude.
Well, I mean,
Good attitude. No, I'm
going
rubbing
back.
off on you. I can
No,
tell.
it's the truth. But I mean, going back to that too, it's just like we had that when we were talking about that. There's the option. So you got the purists that may not want it. Cool, play it the way it is. You got people that want something different. Okay, it's there.
Hmm.
Plain and simple. You know.
Agreed.
So
No, exciting announcement, and I know you're going to do good with it. I can't really say that there's been like a bad release, that you've put out thus far, and this is definitely an ambitious one. And I mean, I like it because it's like I said earlier. there are so many Castlevania remakes. There are so many Simon's Quest remakes.
Yeah.
There's a handful of three remakes. No one's touched four. No one's touched Bloodlines. Um,
Yet
it's needed.
it's on the list. It's on the agenda.
It's absolutely needed. You know. But I mean, like, just me personally, I'd say, yeah, multiple pathways, alternate costumes, if possible.
Yeah, that's not that actually. That would be something nice to put in. As like a reward for the extra path shit. Like how you would find the maidens.
Simon through the ages.
Yeah. And maybe like a music player or something, to where you can, like how DX Chronicles did, where you could find the tracks,
Yeah.
something like that. Give it a little bit more playability.
Make it an aspect of the
Replay,
rewards. Like,
replay, yeah,
find 10 tracks, you unlock the Simon's Quest armor.
right. Which I think it was Judas. I want to say he's on here. Where we at, bud? Remy. Yeah, we were talking about that on the Discord the other day because he was picking my brain a little bit for Godot, and good luck with that, dude. By the way, if you try it out for an achievements thing, that would actually be really easy in Fusion to set up achievements. So, like, say if you get
It would be an interesting.
if you kill 100 skeletons, you unlock this. If you die so many times at this one point, that's like the hardest shit jump. Some kind of goofy achievement, whatever.
No merchant, please.
No, no, no. It's linear. It's not going to be. It's not going to be a full setup like a non-linear. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Simon's Quest, Symphony of the Night, anything like that.
Yeah, so there's not going to be like going outside the castle and there's like a hut,
Right. Yeah, none of that.
or no like librarian who's like working against Dracula.
Nah.
Awesome. Now, the other thing too is since you're putting your own spin on this, do you plan on including any aspects from like the more conventional Dracula stories, like maybe a Renfield?
That would be cool, I think. I'm trying to think of how we can actually work that in.
Well, I mean that's
That's a
something
cool
for the
idea.
future, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a cool. No, I
yeah,
like
but I mean
that.
like having a Renfield, Dracula needs his brides.
Right.
A Monster Squad reference. Come to think of it, there's not they don't have a Wolfman fighting for her.
No, not yet.
Well, not yet.
Not
I
yet.
like that.
See, because we've got branches
Yeah, but
paths,
see,
so you can't have the same
yeah, but
boss.
see, yeah, there's not a werewolf fight. But I mean, like to me, when we're just thinking Monster Squad, like I always thought the coolest part in that movie is when they were in 666 Shadowbrook Lane. They go down the hallway. They one door bursts open and the three brides are there. They turn around and run down the hallway. Wolfman's recovered from getting kicked in the balls, and then they go down the other hallway in the T junction, and Dracula comes down the hall. I'm like, oh, that's fucking scary.
Leather whip only achievement. That would be another sub. That'd be another sub ledger thing for sure. He's a freaking maniac.
A whip only achieve, yeah. No, 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 no whip run. Fuck that.
Oh, he'll try it. Don't worry. Sub will try it.
Oh, I got an idea for you.
What's that?
Put in a speedrunner mode.
Where it just like removes a bunch of shit, like your pickups, stuff like that.
Well, I mean, try to cater to the speedrunning community. Like, have a timer that's implemented in game so that they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. Because obviously there is a big speedrunning community out there, and there's people who do love challenges. Like sub is definitely. Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder if sub in Sub Ledger is just hinting at something that he likes.
Yeah.
Because
The
punish him
punishment.
some more. Yeah. 50 Shades of Ledger.
That's it. That's actually a cool idea.
It's kind of like 50 Shades of Gray Fox. Hurt me more.
Instead of like a second run and a boss rush, you just get a speed run mode to unlock some more
Yeah.
shit. That would be cool.
Yeah,
Actually, that
speed
would be
run
a
mode.
very good way to replace a boss rush because that's always fighting the clock. So just do a speedrun mode where you fight the game, the
Hmm.
entire game.
Have like War Machine's top runners. Like top, what do you call people who, like, I know there's workers, but I mean like something in the War Machine factory, like a top 10 list.
Right. That would be pretty cool. No, I like that idea.
Next week, sub's gonna change it to Dom Ledger now. Switch Ledger. But no, moving aside from all that shit, I think a speedrun mode would be pretty cool. Like I said, just once again, it would appeal to to a whole new community at large.
Yeah.
I think it would be a nice way to get eyes on the product, and it would be a good way for people to, sharpen their fucking fangs at this,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool, and it would be cool to add something different. On my end, I've never fooled with that before, so that would be cool.
Instead of Gaybot and Gibdo, we got the Brides and then Renfield. That could work.
Branching paths, dude. Like I said, you gotta have different bosses. You can't have the same boss on a different path.
Dullahan's been in a lot of Castlevania games, I feel like, though.
Yeah,
Rondo, definitely. Portrait of Ruin, I remember him in that one.
that's probably my favorite boss fight in that game.
You love Dullahan?
Yeah, that was a great
See,
one.
I always liked the Minotaur. Because I just love how he would charge and get stuck in the wall like
Yeah,
Bebop and Rocksteady.
yeah,
Oh Christ! Could you imagine like a time warp thing, where it's just like the turtles come in from
dude.
Turtles in Time?
I've got enough on my plate with this shit.
But yeah, let's not do that.
All
But all
right.
right, I'm definitely excited for the prospect of this, and once again, it's at the very least, we're touching territory that hasn't been touched. And I understand that Harmony of Dissonance hasn't really had like a conventional remake, but I think for
It
better
needs
or for
it.
worse, whether or not you say that it's just all right, or whether you say it's the greatest game in the entire franchise, it's nice that it's getting its flowers and getting a bit of like a modernized update.
Exactly. Yeah, it deserves it. I feel for what it
Agreed.
is, and like you said, there's just nothing. I've not come across any myself that are
Hmm.
straight up true remakes that aren't ROM hacks.
Yeah, the only thing that I've seen for Super Castlevania 4 are the ones that Boga Boga does, where it's like he'll change the castle up a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean that stuff's cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with anybody doing all that stuff. It's just like it's like you said, where there's so many others out there. Now that this can be done, it has to be done, no question. So
Well, I mean, the other thing too is like I want to see Fred Astaire and Paula Abdul. Like that was the coolest shit ever. But you know what? What if there was a Phantom of the Opera boss?
yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, a Gilman boss, like they're just going through the whole Universal thing.
Yeah, yeah, the Gilman thing. I was actually thinking about on the alternate for the submerged ruin stage after you get past the
Well,
waterfall.
you see, it kind of got me thinking because like I know I call it Frankenstein and Igor and the Turd Man and all that, but I didn't find out until recently that the Hunchback was actually kind of like Quasimodo.
Really?
Yeah, it was supposed. If I remember correctly, there's some lore to this, but I don't have it all like off the top of my head. I can barely remember what I did yesterday. Like it was supposed to be Quasimodo, but there was like too much of a rights issue, you know,
Yeah,
where they weren't able to implement it in some way, shape, or form. But I mean, like, imagine a Phantom of the Opera. Like you fight him a little bit, he runs in the back, plays the organ, Quasimodo comes out of the
shit comes out.
rafters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be
Some
cool.
shit like that.
Yeah, there's some
And
good ideas.
the way to stop the Phantom, I guess, would be like going into that background plane and destroying the
Destroy the
pipes
pit.
on the organ.
Yeah, yeah. And then it sets him
Yeah.
off, and he transforms or something, where it really cranks up. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it pisses him off.
yeah. That's
It's
what I'm
like
saying.
Super
Yeah,
Punch
like
Out. Yeah, like Super Punch Out when you punch the Brit in the face
yeah,
and he gets all mad and shit.
yeah, yeah. That'd be cool.
Get him mad enough to knock his mask off, and then you start, oh, there you go. Fucking, I don't know how many Hammer horror heads are here, but I always loved the Phantom of the Opera with Herbert Lom. as what do you call it? As the Phantom.
Yeah,
And he was created in that one by accidentally dousing himself in acid. So what if he was the one throwing the potions, but it's potions of acid?
that would be cool. And then it busts on him. Well, that yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, or I mean, there's so many things that you could do here. I mean, like destroy a part of the environment so that like
Yeah,
acid in a barrel or something falls on
yeah,
him, or maybe that be his death animation. I don't know.
right.
There's so many ideas.
I know, man. It's crazy.
There's so many things. Quasimodo sure undergone changes going on for those. Yeah. Other castle. You're right, sub. No, so I mean, there's possibilities. I'm excited for it, and I mean, you've definitely proved at this point that you're good hands for this.
Appreciate it, dude. Like I said, I would not try it if I didn't think it was possible. And now that I know it is, we're doing it 100%.
Yeah, I mean that was really the big that I think like for you was the big holdup was the unique game mechanics.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it doesn't seem like it just from playing the game, but compared to the other ones, there's a lot of shit going on there. And to break it down and make it work, like if you guys saw all the shit that went into this, it
Mhm.
would make your head spin. It's crazy the amount of shit that had to go in to make that work. So
I
I
got it.
get why people don't try because it was a freaking nightmare.
I got it though.
What?
Perfect idea. All right. So, what is the big bone of contention with most people with Super Castlevania 4? That the Ape Whip directional was too easy.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was an unlockable skill?
That'd be cool, but what I was thinking, like that argument, it seems to fall on like the enemies being easy to kill, just because you could reach them, right? You could solve that not so much by cranking up their hit points or defense or whatever, but
No, don't
just
do
make it
that.
just make it to where you can't get to them like you could before.
Well,
Make
what I
that
mean,
gap to where you couldn't reach them.
what I mean is like think of it this way. I always joke that whenever you collect money bags playing Castlevania, that's how the Belmonts fund their lives.
Right,
It's like a dual purpose. They take all those money bags and bring the shit home, and they live off that for the next 100 years. And it's like, oh man, Grandpa Christopher didn't bring a hell of a lot home, so I guess we're eating chicken eggs for a month. But what if you use those money bags to unlock a skill, kind of like the relics in Symphony of the Night, where you can toggle them on and off? So if someone does want that additional challenge of not having to do the eight whip directional, they could toggle that off, or they could just not buy it.
right. I mean,
So like the game starts off with your conventional left to right jump whip and all that shit. But as you go through and accumulate, it becomes an unlockable skill.
that would be cool. The only thing that would make that tough would be the stage layout. And the reason I say that is like at the start, like you said, which I could do that, but it's like you said at the beginning, all the extra stuff that's added, it's except for like the rotating room, you don't see that until later, but it's all right on stage one, you know. So things with like the
So
whip
stage one, it's not
swing,
really that much. Yeah, stage one, it's not that big of a factor though. You don't have to diagonally or up whip. You're just
no,
literally jumping.
right, but then you've got the anchor points that you hook onto with the swing too. So
Hmm.
that's another thing. Um, but it could be done as far as because I mean, if we're going to do the branching path thing, it's going to have to be like Rondo's, as far as like you will go on the map and you can replay the stage that you've already
Hmm.
been to find the other path. So it could work
Yeah,
that way.
yeah, it could. I mean, that would be a nice way to kind of like trap players a little bit, and they have to work their way out of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, uh, if you put too much into that, like on the alternate path thing, then you take away from. Are you going to play it the OG way, or are you going to play it the full remake way? Because
Well, that's the thing is
you should still be able
but
to get to the end regardless which way you do it.
But you see, that's what it boils down to is that you're giving the option.
Right. We can we'll figure something out. Like I said, this is right at the beginning,
There's
so
plenty of
there's
time.
plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. But you know what? It's always nice just to sit there and be like, hey, we could have this, we could have that,
Yeah.
you know? But we're hitting about the time where I'm about to commit to one of my New Year's resolutions and try to get this hellhole cleaned up in
Same.
preparation for, just getting my own shit out. So I like to try to clean this place up a little bit. So we're hitting just about the on the top of the hour mark from me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dip myself, but I appreciate you having me, and I also appreciate Mr. War Machine having Alex Jones be able to talk about the politics in Wallachia.
Nah,
But no,
I
I appreciate you having me be a part of the announcement and everything. It's been awesome interacting with all of yous. Hope you guys are having a good year so far. And yeah, stay tuned. War Machine knows what he's doing.
I appreciate
He
you,
doesn't
brother
need
man.
me.
Thanks for jumping on here with me. Thanks for helping me and holding my hand through all this stuff, and all for setting it up too. And guys,
Well,
yeah,
you.
that's gonna wrap it for me too. If you guys got anything that you want to holler at me, you can jump on the Discord as soon as we're done here if you want.
All
Um,
right. Have yourselves a good day, folks. All right. Peace out. War Machine. Be good.